Hey everybody, welcome to CubeFit Release. My name's Emily. I had a request from somebody to do like a full body release. So that's what I'm going to do today. We're probably going to go over time. So Nick, my co-host, feel free to hop off at the end of the 10 minutes. I'll be good by myself. So that being said, we're going to start from our feet and move up. And so yeah, full body release, had someone request it. So like I said, we'll probably end up going a little bit longer than the normal time. So if you just need to jump off whenever you do, go ahead and do so. If you can stay and join us, please do. So like I said, we're gonna start with those feet. So what we'll do, we'll take that lacrosse ball, we're gonna put it just underneath the arch of that foot. Then we're gonna roll just to the bottom of those toes here. Now you can do this one sitting or standing. Just know that if you're sitting, that's going to be a little bit less pressure. And then if you're standing, you're going to have a little bit more pressure. So all about what you want here, what kind of pressure you need, what you and your body needs. So go ahead and just figure that out. And then from there, we're just rolling back and forth, adding circles. And remember, when we find those tender spots, we're holding that pressure, really breathing through it, letting the pain dissipate, and then continue to roll after that. I'm going to shoot to try and be on each area for about a minute and then move on. So if you need to stay a little bit longer on an area, go ahead and do so, and then you can just catch up afterwards. If you're just joining, we're going to do a full body release. Might be a little bit longer than normal class. So if you can stay on and continue to join us, that's fine. If not, just feel free to jump off. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, to throw them in the chat box, and I'll be sure to get to them at the end. Let's go ahead and switch feet here. We're going to move on to the calves here in about 30 seconds. So get the last little areas that you need on that last foot. And then we're going to go to the calves. All right, go ahead and take a seat on the ground here. What we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and just bend one leg. We're going to add some pressure using the lacrosse ball with our hands. So what I'll have you do is we're going to find our shin bone, and then we're going to go just on the fleshy part of that shin bone. And so what you'll do is you'll place that lacrosse ball right on that calf muscle, and then we're just going to add that pressure using our hands. And then as we move along, whether you start just above the ankle or below the knee, we just want to move that lacrosse ball down towards that ankle or up towards that knee, just to make sure we're getting the entire calf here. We're going to hold that pressure when you find those tender spots. So if you find a spot while you're scanning the area here, just go ahead and hold that pressure. You can add in some foot movements if you'd like. So bringing that foot up and down, kind of like a gas pedal, or moving it side to side, kind of like a swipe or no swiping. And that'll help kind of ease up the pain on those pressure points there. If you're just joining, saw some people just joining, we're doing a full body release. We just started with our feet, moving on to the calves. We will go over time here. So if you need to leave, feel free to hop off. And if you have any questions or concerns, to throw them in the chat box, and I will be sure to get to them and contact you. If you can stay on, great. Like I said, we're going to stay on each area for about a minute here. So coming up here, 20 more seconds on this leg, and then we're going to move on to the other leg. I'm going to try and get the main lower body parts and the main upper body parts. And then maybe tomorrow I will do another full, excuse me, another full body release, hitting those other areas that I didn't catch. Trying not to go over, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. I do have some other stuff to do. So, but I had this be a request from somebody, so I want to fulfill that request. As always, if you guys have any suggestions or requests, please feel free to reach out. All right, let's go ahead, switch legs. Same thing, you're just gonna find that shin bone. We're gonna go just to the fleshy part, apply that pressure with the lacrosse ball. When we get done with this calf, we're gonna move on to the quads. All right, let's go ahead and move on to those quads. So for the quads, I want to make sure we're getting the entire area here. So I want to make sure that we're going from just above that kneecap all the way up into that high hip region. So go ahead and place a lacrosse ball about in the middle of the quad. And then what we're going to do here, we're going to lay down fully on our stomach. You could be on your forearms if that helps. And then from here, we're just on our toes, kind of moving our body up and down with that lacrosse ball. Trying to focus on getting each part of the quad. So maybe that's you're focusing on the bottom half for a little bit, and then you're moving up to the top half for the other half. That's totally fine. Just figure out what works for you, and remember that when you find those tender spots to really hold that pressure there. Remember, when we're using a lacrosse ball, it can be a little bit more intense than a foam roller, so just know that you can ease up on your pressure if you need to, if it's beginning to be too much for you. Good, let's go ahead and switch sides here. Nice job with that. All right, let's come on up. We're going to continue on with the full body release. We're going to move on to the glutes. I'm going to go up against the wall. If you want to stay down on the ground, that's totally fine too. But we're going to break things up left and right because we never want to cross over that spine. So go ahead, place that lacrosse ball just on that glute here. I'm going to come up against the wall. And then remember, as always, we want to utilize our legs to add that pressure. So if you need more pressure, you're going to scoot those feet out. If you need less pressure, you'll scoot those feet back in. And then from here, we're just utilizing our hips and our legs to move us up and down and side to side to really work out through that area. Remember, when you find those tender spots, to really hold that pressure, breathe through it, because I know how painful it can be, and sometimes it really does want to take your breath away. So just make sure to keep breathing and then continue to roll after you feel like that pain has dissipated. Anybody has any fun plans for Christmas? Would love to know what you guys are up to. I know I am just going to be relaxing, taking those days off and utilizing some rest and relaxation time. Probably going to ski a lot. Yeah, maybe snowshoe, do some hikes. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. Still on the glutes here. We're going to move on to those upper hips here in a second. Thanks for the suggestion, Andrew, who wanted to do the full body release. I love when you guys reach out and have some suggestions and request. Makes me planning my day for class a little bit easier, and I just like providing a service for you guys. So if you guys ever have any suggestions, concerns, whatever it may be, reach out to me and we will take care of that. Focus just on that glute here. Try and get that lower glute too. You might have to bend forward, kind of like how I am here. Like I mentioned before, I'll be adding a mobility class with utilizing the foam roller. So that'll be in 2021. If you're interested in that and you don't know what kind of foam roller to grab, contact me and I'll send you a link to a pretty cheap foam roller on Amazon that you can get. Don't even have to leave your house. And yeah, it'll be a great class. All right, let's go ahead and move on to that high hip region. So again, we have our spine, and so we want to break things up left and right so we don't cross over that spine. And so if you can imagine you had back pockets or a belt loop region, that's where we're going to be at. So go ahead and place a lacrosse ball on that region. And even though we're not going on that spine, I do want to make sure we're getting as close as we can to that spine. So if you're on the left side, try and get just as close as you can to that spine on the left side. And then we're going all the way to that outer hip region as well. So just make sure you're getting that entire area and that you're not missing any spots. Maybe you're focusing more on the side hip if that's troubling you, or on the back, or just kind of spending a little bit of time on each. Good. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. All right, while we are here on the back side, we're gonna go ahead and get that small little back muscle. So it's the quadratus lumbaris, and so what it is, it's right here. So again, we'll break it up left and right. I like to just place the lacrosse ball right on that muscle there, and then I'm really just kind of going up and down and really applying that pressure, not so much going side to side. But again, just figure out what works for you and what doesn't. Just be conscious that you do have that spine there. So we're going to hold here for about 30 seconds on the left, and then we'll go ahead over to the right before we start making our way up into some more upper body stuff. Make sure to breathe. Good, let's go ahead and switch sides. All right, let's start moving on to some forearm stuff. So let's go to the back of the left forearm. Here you can use a desk, you can use the wall here. Just try to avoid shrugging those shoulders. Remember, we don't want to aggravate the shoulders any more than they might already be bothering you. So just apply that pressure with your legs. And I always just kind of keep it like a 90 degree and just kind of use my body to go side to side here. Again, when you find those tender spots, to really hold that pressure. And if you're using a desk, you're just flipping that arm just like that on the desk, and you might be applying your extra hand for some extra added pressure if you need it. Good. Let's go ahead, stay same arm, but just flip the ball on the opposite side here. Again, you can kind of keep that arm at a 90, or you can keep it straight. I like to usually keep it straight and just kind of move up and down, side to side. Don't have that big of a wall, but if I did, maybe bring that arm all the way out here and do it there. Good. Same arm, we're going to stay there. Let's go ahead onto that bicep. So same thing, you can take that, put it on the bicep, and then just kind of let your arm hang and then go up and down, side to side there. Or if you have a big enough wall and you can just bring your arm all the way out, you can do it there too. Sometimes people complain that it gets a little bit tiring when they have their arm out all the time, laterally like that. So just kind of mess around, see which what technique you like and which one you don't like. For me, I kind of like to just leave my arm down and just have that palm facing out. As you can see, the lacrosse ball's right here on my bicep, and I'm just utilizing my legs to go up and down. Good. Go ahead. Same arm. We're just going to go to the back now to the tricep. So remember, we're going just above that elbow to just below that shoulder. And so for this one, again, I kind of just like keep my arm at a 90, place that lacrosse ball in the middle of the tricep, and then I'm utilizing my legs to go up and down and side to side here. Again, try to avoid shrugging those shoulders. Good. Let's go ahead and flip on to the other arm. So again, let's start on that forearm, or let's start on the back of that forearm. So just placing that lacrosse ball there. I like to keep my arm at like a 90, and then I'm just using my legs to kind of guide me through it. When we get done with the arms here, I'll probably just do the chest and then we'll call it a day, since yesterday we did those back muscles in the back. We did the rhomboids and the traps already. So I will probably hit those again tomorrow along with the IT bands. We'll do the hip flexors, and maybe we'll do, I don't know, the inner part of the thigh, show you that one. That one can be kind of awkward to do. Oh, and the neck. We'll do the neck tomorrow too as well. Good. Let's go ahead and flip that arm, placing it on the forearm. Good. Let's go bicep here. Good, let's go ahead to the tricep on this arm. All right, nice job. Let's go ahead and move on to those chest muscles, like I said. So we'll break this up left and right. What you're gonna do is you're gonna find your collarbone and we're gonna go just below that collarbone in the fleshy area. And so what you'll do from there is you'll place that lacrosse ball right on that area. And then you're gonna come up against the wall here. And as always, you're just gonna utilize your legs here. Remember, avoid shrugging those shoulders at all times. So applying that pressure with your legs, and then we're moving up and down and side to side to really work out that chest muscle. Remember, if you find any tingling or numbness in your hand, just go ahead and move off that area. You're probably just on a nerve here. Good, nice job. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Remember, this will be the last area that we'll be on. You guys are doing awesome. Thanks for sticking around. I know it was a longer class, but definitely need it. Feels great. Good, nice job. Come out of that nice and easy. Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Like I said, tomorrow we'll do like another random full body kind of release, just hitting all different kinds of areas, nothing really specific. So